All right. Well, welcome to the nonStatic podcast, where we explore how to keep moving forward when motivation feels distant. Here we dive into finding peace and fulfillment in a busy world, discovering how to embrace life opportunities to live with purpose and joy. nonStatic was founded by my brother, Dr. Josh Belkey. Josh, how you doing?
Good. How are you, John?
I'm doing well.
Good.
And I'm John Belkey.
You're John Belkey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Josh and John.
So we've done this for a few weeks now. I think I've been having a good time.
We're definitely experts now.
We are professional podcasters.
Yeah.
We are professional information givers.
Yep.
And I'm very thankful for that.
Yes.
And just with this Thanksgiving week.
Ah, yes, I see what you did.
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
I already snuck it in there already.
Yeah.
But one thing that I had a hard time showing gratitude for. We're going to talk about gratitude today.
As are all the rest of the millions of podcasters out there this week, but that's all right.
But ours is different.
True.
Because we are nonStatic.
That's true. Right.
By bros. I have been having the worst time trying to figure out a camera that works for the podcast.
That has been an ordeal.
It has been absolutely ridiculous, Josh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone through. I purchased two GoPro 12s.
They like you by now?
They like me by now.
Yeah.
And I returned one because it would overheat halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Second one overheated, so I just didn't even really get a chance to use it, and so I sent that in for replacement. I'm still waiting on it. Then while I was waiting for that, I ordered a GoPro 13, and also overheated halfway through our podcast. So there's gonna be one podcast where there's gonna be like the last 4 minutes where it's just the video's just gonna be kind of cut off, but it's okay.
You will all survive.
That's right. You'll all survive, and
all 10 of you.
For now, we're getting a lot of good feedback, so I'm pretty excited about it. But I finally found another one, the DJI something Pocket 3, Osmo Pocket 3, and it seems to be working well. I was recording myself.
It looks kind of like a selfie stick.
It does look like a selfie stick. It's got a cool little screen on it that you can rotate.
And I always told myself I'd never use a selfie stick, but here I am using a selfie stick.
You also said that you would never, ever, ever use AI.
I very limited use.
Very limited. Yes, me too.
I use it to generate images with my kids.
Oh, what kind of images do you create?
Stupid stuff, quite frankly.
That's kind of fun. What do you use for that? Which one do you use?
ChatGPT.
Okay.
I should actually show. If I don't have my phone right here, but I'd show you. We created a image of a tin can with a unicorn horn, wearing sunglasses.
Is it a pretty good-looking unicorn horn can?
It's a very good-looking unicorn can with eyes. It's very, very interesting. Yeah.
It's amazing how good some of the AI stuff. Like I've seen like AI-generated videos. They're completely AI-generated. No real people, no real settings. But what AI is able to do so quickly with imaging, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
One thing I always notice though, one big tell is, there's still a little bit of uncanny valley in a lot of the videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're looking at it like it looks so real. It
There's
looks real.
Yeah, something's a little off.
Just something's a little off. And even if you don't directly look at it, I've always noticed that where there's hands, there is going to be errors on it.
Distortions. Yeah.
AI cannot figure out how to do hands very well.
I think I'm not an artist, but I've noticed a lot of artists have struggled with that. You looked at cartoons, like why is it that all cartoons have 4 fingers? Like there's 3 fingers and a thumb. There's never 5 ever.
That's true.
On occasion,
Yeah.
That always seems to be the case, and I'm not sure why that is.
I think James Cameron really had a hard time with that with his avatars.
I think he must have.
Yeah, I think it's only 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes you appreciate the Renaissance artists though that could sculpt it.
So good, just absolutely photorealistic stuff.
Yeah.
And there's even, I forget who it was, but there's an artist on, I just found him on TikTok. Yep. And we're gonna be on there too.
Mm-hmm.
An artist on TikTok, and all he does is he draws with pencil. And I'm not joking you. They are photorealistic, black and white photo. Like you cannot tell that it is just paper.
Yeah.
And he even zooms in way in on it, and you just can't. It's just amazing
Yeah.
the amount of detail and patience people have, like the vision that they have, that somehow they're able to get it onto paper or canvas or
Yeah.
whatever they.
The skill's
they
pretty
use.
amazing.
I wish.
Yeah, I wish.
I
Well,
wish. I
someday.
mean, I can draw stick figures. I mean, so I can draw a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's not something that I'm really passionate about. So
Yeah.
I don't really.
Speaking of art, do you remember that art installation where the artist taped a banana to the wall?
Yes.
Did you know that it sold?
How much did it sell for?
$6.2 million, if I'm remembering correctly. $6.2 million.
For a banana
Yeah.
that you think you just you didn't even use name brand duct tape.
No. He's actually gonna the person that bought it's actually gonna eat the banana. But to give it its due, the purchase of that art installation includes a 14-page document about how to install it and how to recreate it. And any recreation of that art is considered an original piece by the artist himself, him or herself, whoever made it. So,
A 14-page document on how to put it on the wall. I bet you what happened was
it's replicating like the structure and everything that came along with it apparently.
so it's not just the banana and the tape. There's the wall
It's the
behind
banana, the tape, and the white wall behind it.
Does it have to be a certain type of white wall?
I did not get
type
that.
of
I did
paint?
not get that granular when I read the story.
You know,
We should paint a banana back here. We should put a banana.
I
paint it
think
back
we really
here for the next
should.
one, just
We
to honor.
really should.
Just to honor it.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We'll get on that. I'll find
Yeah,
a banana. Oh, I had a banana this morning. I should just take that. Ridiculous.
Could have been worth $6 million.
That's
But anyways, Thanksgiving. So what do you
Yeah.
what do you like most about Thanksgiving? What do you look forward to most?
Well, everyone likes food.
True.
Everyone loves the food. Almost nobody likes the turkey. It's like
Why is that? I
I,
like
don't know.
turkey.
You know,
I
it's
like
like
turkey.
it's like the main. I like it too, but it's not the main thing that
True.
I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward
True.
to the stuffing,
Yeah.
the mashed taters and gravy.
You're gonna carb load.
Carb load.
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah.
and just carb and sodium load, so I just can't even move. I just feel miserable, just gross.
Yeah.
You know, but a good kind of gross.
Yeah.
And then lay around, maybe watch some football or just take a nap and then eat again.
Do you even know who's playing, John? See, you should be able to
Not-
rattle that
it's-
off. You should be
it's-
able to rattle that off immediately because everybody knows the same two teams always play every year.
But the Giants and the Yankees.
The Yankees are a baseball team, but anyway.
Kidding, I know that. It's always the same teams.
Well, two teams for sure always play on Thanksgiving: the Cowboys and Detroit Lions.
Oh, I
They
knew that.
always play every Thanksgiving. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Who else is playing?
The Giants are playing the Cowboys, and I don't remember all the other ones.
Well, you know,
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know we've been brothers our whole lives, but you know that I'm not really a big sports guy.
No, you're not.
I just
No,
don't
no.
find a whole lot of value in following a real person's what they do and their how many injuries does this person have or how many
True.
passes or fumbles or whatever.
True.
Anyways,
Well,
but more than anything, I love being with family
Yeah.
and just having a day that's dedicated to show thanks,
Mhm.
which I practice gratitude every day,
yeah,
morning, noon, and evening.
sure.
But it's just really nice where we all just get together. We get to specifically, get some people a little bit uncomfortable because everyone's, we're all standing around in a circle. We're all saying what we're thankful for. I know some people don't like public speaking. And
It's not really public speaking though. It's family speaking.
They sometimes I think people feel like it.
I equate it with it. Yeah.
They equate it with it, and so they don't really know what to say. But it's fun. I love the togetherness
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned you practice gratitude. Why do you practice gratitude?
because
I'm putting you on the spot now.
because I am a natural pessimist.
Sure.
I naturally my default goes to why. Of course something doesn't work. Of course I didn't do well on a project or an exam or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Or of course 3 cameras broke for me.
Of course they did,
And,
yeah.
why? How could it be any different? Why should I buy a camera and have it work right out of the box?
Yeah.
And with the tens of millions of other people who have GoPros,
Yeah.
don't have. Well, they probably have issues, but probably not as immediate as me.
Yeah.
And so I have to intentionally stop myself and say, I'm thankful because I'm healthy. I've had some very serious health issues in the past. I've overcome those. I'm maintaining them very well. I have a great network of friends and professional colleagues. I get to work with my family. I have a successful and growing mental health and substance use business. We have great team members, and yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
And I have a tendency to look at the negatives.
Sure.
And so I just had to make a point of focusing much more on the good instead of just the bad.
You know, what's funny is society in general, I think, well, at least our Western culture, I should say, and I'll pick on the U.S. for a bit, is we're a very secular country. And I'm not saying that's necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Not secular, but materialistic is the term I was looking for.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I enjoy nice things. I think sometimes, though, our culture is a little too focused on the next big thing that we can purchase or obtain, you know? And that's really where it kind of cuts into gratitude. But what's interesting is around Thanksgiving every year, culture pushes and encourages us to kind of flip the script a little bit, and suddenly now we're supposed to be grateful, you know, and now we're supposed to express our gratefulness. So, you know, you see a lot of a lot of times we see popular pop culture phrases, like you've probably seen the grateful, thankful, blessed phrase,
Live,
right?
laugh, love.
Oh boy, thank God that one's gone. But you've heard that. Those are cool things like grateful, thankful, blessed.
Right.
Of course, we're all thankful. We should be grateful, and we're all blessed, obviously, to be in this great nation. But we put those things in our kitchens. We put them above the fireplaces to kind of remind us to be thankful, you know. And we kind of latch onto those because what they do is they drive us towards a state of action. It encourages us to do something. And there's other examples of how our culture pushes the gratitude. You know, you take Thanksgiving, for example. The society's enshrined it as a holiday to be thankful, to take one time a year and take time to be grateful. And then a lot of us, as you know, we're in the same family, so you know this. But the Thanksgiving circles where we all go around and say what we're thankful for.
Right.
You know. Other phrases that we've heard, like count your blessings and keep in mind what you've been given compared to what you don't have right now. They're reminders to focus on what we should be thankful for, right? I think a lot of that, though, and this may be a little controversial, I guess you could say, is I think a lot of that stuff kind of misses the mark.
Sure. Okay. What do you mean?
Well, the challenge with, so if you look at how we push Thanksgiving in our culture, it's all focused on around what we're supposed to do in response to being thankful. So we're not really encouraged just to be in a state of gratefulness. We're told to show others that you're grateful. So then it kind of changes it from what's your identity as being a grateful person, rather than being an identity as a grateful person. It pushes you to a task list that you're supposed to do to make sure everyone knows that you're thankful for things, you know? And that's kind of what I like to talk about is gratitude should be more of an identity of ours rather than a task list we're supposed to do.
How do you make it? How do you go from making it like a task list type of gratitude? Like, I'm thankful for this, and this. You know, thankful for my family, thankful for my wife, thankful for my kids, thankful for my food, my house.
Yeah.
How do you change that into just an attitude or just a way to live your life?
I'm not saying that those things are bad. You know, we have at home, we have the slogans in our house, you know, the blessed, and that's above our kitchen because we are blessed a lot. But if we take one day out of the year and that's the day when we say that we're thankful for things, but then the rest of the year we're chasing stuff that we may not have in pursuit of more stuff or more things, are we really grateful as individuals or as a society?
Right.
You know, if we're really grateful and content, and contentment's really the heart of gratitude when I think about it, or thankfulness, is being content with what we have and being grateful that we have those things, because we are a very blessed nation.
Well, we are.
Regardless
blessed.
of our ideas about where the nation's going or where it's been and whatever else. The fact of the matter is, if you live in the United States, you are blessed to be part of the greatest nation probably in the history of the world, as far as the freedoms it affords, the ability to worship where you want, to work where you want, the pursuit of happiness, so to speak. If we only take one day a year to really do our task list of showing gratitude, are we really grateful? And if we spend the rest of our time pursuing more than what we already have, are we really grateful? I would question that if we only take one day a year. So what I try to encourage people to think about with gratitude is, rather than just turning gratitude into a task list of thank you notes and gratitude journals and those kinds of things, is why are you doing those things? And to develop more of an identity of gratefulness in which you're just a thankful person. You're not necessarily thankful for things specifically, but you're just at a state of thankfulness.
Sure.
Thankful for where you're at in life.
Do you think that's kind of where...
Contentment.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Do you think that's where Thanksgiving originated?
Probably.
Like, oh my gosh, we are in the promised land.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know? I don't even know when. Do you know when the first Thanksgiving was?
My dad would know.
My dad knows. He knows everything there is to know about United States history.
Yeah.
I guess that means we should probably have figured that out too.
Probably should have.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, it's easy. It's easier for us to be as Americans. So I'm hosting a foreign exchange student, Anna from Spain, from Madrid, and it's been so cool seeing, talking to her about what she and most of Spain thinks about America and other countries. And the first thing she at first didn't want to say anything because she's like, I shouldn't say. So tell me anyways. It's okay. I can take it. I'm a man. I'm an American. I can handle it. And she still wouldn't say. I said, you think we're stuck up? She goes, yeah. We think you're stuck up. They think that the American way is the only way, and it's the best way, and other people can get turned off on that. Which I think there could be an element of we have a lot of pride.
We do.
She said, I have in Spain, you don't see the Spanish flag all over the place. In the United States, you see the American flag on so many homes. Every business is all over the place. We have a sense of pride. I think we have patriotic pride.
Yeah.
And thankfulness and gratefulness for truly being in the best country in the world. I think that probably does come off as pridefulness.
Maybe.
But I think in many cases, but I think for the most part, it's just heck yeah, we're American. It's awesome.
Well, there's an element of American exceptionalism that we tend to cling to,
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are grateful for the country, and the fact that we can exchange different ideas in the U.S. is pretty remarkable. I know I'm thankful for that.
Sure would be nice if we can get back to being grateful. I don't know if I'm gonna kind of weave this the right way.
Yeah.
Being grateful for people having different opinions than we do, instead of just being like, oh, you think some way, you think a different way, or you don't believe what I believe, or you have your different political affiliation. That seems to be the biggest one.
Right.
Screw you. I don't want to associate you with you. No.
Yeah.
Different ideas are good. Even though I truly believe that my beliefs are the right ones. Well, they should be because they're my beliefs, right?
Right.
I shouldn't think like, well, someone else has a better belief system, but I'm going to stick with my crappy one. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I think we all just need to come with, I think it's important for us to have that mindset, like, just be grateful that we can cohabitate with people of different religions, races, political beliefs, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
When I think of kind of looping that back to the thankfulness, when we talk about gratitude, if gratitude is something we do for others to see, I think that's when it's not genuine, if that makes sense. And
you're doing it just for show.
Right. Just to let people know so people can see that you're grateful, if that's the only reason you do it, rather than coming from a place of having gratitude or being just having an identity of gratitude. And there's really kind of four traits that I think truly thankful people tend to embody. There's 4 total. The first one is humility. If someone that's grateful has this general aura about them of being humble. They recognize that others have contributed to their blessings, not just themselves. A lot of times in our culture, we believe to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and that we're all self-made people. But the fact of the matter is, if any one of us, no matter how successful we are, no matter where we're at in life, we really do owe a lot of our success and our fortune in life to other people. There's always been other people that have blessed us and brought us to where we're at. And so people that are really thankful have this sense of humility about them. The other concept or the other quality that thankful people have is a sense of awe about them. People that are truly grateful are typically just are in amazement at how they have been brought to a place and how people have enriched their lives in a way that's very unique to them. And people that are generally have a thankful identity or a grateful identity about themselves, they realize and they see the richness and meaning that's inherent in their lives because of the contributions that other people have given to them.
How do you think people get to that point? Like, is it kind of just more like a wisdom? Is that more wisdom than anything, or is that just someone who just sees the world a different way or something? Or?
Well, I think it's about perspective. If your perspective is that you put yourself first, then of course you're going to make the assumption that you as an individual have accomplished everything. Whereas if you tend to put others first, or if you have a servant mentality to an extent, you're going to realize that no matter how hard you've worked, the success that you've had in life or the blessings you have in life are really a large contribution of how you got those blessings is from other individuals, whether it's other individuals in your life, whether it's your belief in God that's directed you there. People that are grateful just didn't have this awe about them, about how things have orchestrated in their lives to bring them to where they're at today. And they have a sense of contentment about it. The other trait that people who are grateful that they have is this sense of appreciation. It's kind of similar to awe, I guess, but this appreciation that they have towards other individuals. And this is kind of where it separates a little bit. So people that are trying to be grateful because it's a season of Thanksgiving, it's going to be very exhausting for them to write all the thank you notes, to make sure they post on the social media how thankful they are and identify those different things. But people who are genuinely appreciative, they express that appreciation on a daily basis, and it's an outflow of their internal sense of gratitude and thankfulness.
They're the kind of people that you really want to be by.
Yeah.
They're people that are kind of magnetic.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word or not.
Right.
But they just really embody, there's like a frequency they give off or something. I heard that before, we have some sort of actual real frequency, and meaning if someone, some people are just inexplicably attracted to other people and they don't know why.
Right.
I think it's just, if it's their aura or their
frequency
or whatever it is.
I'm a big believer in that people give off energy.
Yeah. Okay.
And there is research to back that up, that people give off an energy, and it's kind of like a magnet. There's some people have energy that attracts, and some people have an energy that literally pushes people away.
Right.
And it's kind of like when you walk into a room, you can feel the vibe in a room immediately.
Right.
Same thing as when you're around another person, you can immediately feel the vibe around that person, and your body immediately picks up on that. So,
and those are the people that you're going to be really attracted to, are probably people who are just generally in a state of gratefulness.
Yeah. Yep.
Just even though work is difficult, even though family life is really, really hard.
Yeah.
There are some things that I was struggling with. That I've told you, I was really struggling with a lot of things, and I working with my executive coach too, just learned that just to be grateful in the valleys, be grateful at when you're up on top, because if you're just going to wallow in your own pity and just why did all the bad stuff happen to me or us or a business or whatever, you're just going to attract more of that anyways.
Right.
So you're going to go through it anyways. Why not have as good of an attitude as you can while you're going through it,
Right.
instead of just lick your wounds?
Yeah.
And I mean, everyone.
The attitude you're talking about, not to interrupt you, but the attitude you're talking about is the fourth trait I was going to talk about, and that is this: grateful people have a joyfulness about them. They
okay.
exude joy.
Yeah.
And that joy isn't artificial, it's genuine, because it stems from this internal sense of contentment they have. It doesn't mean that we're not striving for anything. It doesn't mean we're not striving to get better or to advance in our careers or to improve our relationships. But it means, even though we're working towards those things, it means we're also content with where we're at right now. You know, and contentment is a thing, I think, that a lot of times we forget to practice. There's always one more thing we can get. There's always one more thing we can obtain. The famous quote by Rockefeller back when he was the wealthiest man in the world, someone asked him, how much more money do you think you need to be happy? And he goes, his response was, just a little more. You know, and so the whole idea of contentment is, again, not to say that we're not going to strive towards making our lives better in some way, but it's while you're doing that, it's also taking the ability, or having the ability to be content with what you already have.
So do you think, in that example, do you think Rockefeller was showing gratefulness, or do you think he was showing like just a lack of content, like I just need to just make a little more, or like, you know what, I'm good, but it's always good to make a little more so you can help other people?
Well, that's true.
I suppose
it's hard to, I guess I don't really know the answer to that question, but
how did you interpret that one?
The point is, what I took away from that is, no matter how much success you have, no matter how much wealth you have, no matter how much stuff you have, there's always going to be one more thing.
Always another level.
There's always going to be one more level that you seek to obtain. And so if you look for contentment in what you have and what you're striving for and what you're trying to gain, it's always going to be a moving target. And so the idea of gratefulness and contentment is really thankfulness and contentment for what you have right now, because most of the time what we have right now is enough. Again, it doesn't mean you can't work towards other things,
right,
but it's also being thankful that you do have enough in this moment. That's
a good point. That's a really good point, Josh.
Yeah. But what's funny to kind of wrap it all up with a bow is, the funny thing about all this is, remember how it's kind of maybe poking fun a little bit about the live, laugh, love, and the grateful, thankful, bless, and all that stuff in the beginning, and the gratitude journals and all that stuff. What's funny is, if we have an identity of gratefulness, we're going to naturally do those things anyway. So you had mentioned at the beginning that you practice gratitude 3 times a day. That's amazing, because it's probably a natural outpouring.
Yeah.
Because you're a grateful person.
Yep.
See what
I feel weird if I don't express gratitude.
Right.
On those days.
Yeah.
Sure, there's going to be times where I miss it if I'm just really in the dumps or whatever, if I'm just want to have a little bit of a pity party, but I always make sure that I kind of pull myself out of that, because it sucks to be miserable all the time, you know, or just to have that lack of gratitude.
So my encouragement for everyone is, again, enjoy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's phenomenal. I love Thanksgiving. Enjoy the food. I just want people to resolve to make gratitude an identity rather than a task list.
I like that. And so what's a couple of takeaways? What's a couple of things that you think someone could do to start on their journey towards just living a life of gratitude?
Really, it's about a perspective.
At first, it takes a focus.
Yeah, it takes focused effort.
If you're not a naturally grateful person, it's gonna take a little bit of focus to get yourself into that. Do you have anything that you could suggest to people that would help?
The thing you have to remember is it's about perspective. So it's so easy, regardless of what situation we're in. And this is coming from, I feel very blessed in my life, and so I feel naturally very content. And I totally am sensitive to the fact that there's a lot of individuals out there that probably that I know have more challenging circumstances than I have. But the way to kind of cultivate an identity of being grateful and an identity of thankfulness is to take some time to reflect on what you do have in this moment and to be thankful for it, rather than constantly striving for the next thing. Because if you're always looking around the next corner, or if you're always looking to what you don't have and what you feel you need to have that you don't have right now, you're never going to feel content in the moment. So that's really the first step, is learning to be okay with what you have right now, rather than having to constantly strive for something else.
Right.
In the absence of contentment.
It feels so good it feels so good when you're in that in that spot.
Yeah.
You know, not feeling like you're lacking because your neighbor is
right.
Seems like they're moving ahead.
Right.
Or they always got a new vehicle, or you know, it's just it feels so good to not be affected by that stuff.
Yep.
And I think that's really what most of it is. It's just us when we're jealous of other people. It's more like stuff more than anything, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
yep.
There's obviously lifestyle and family stuff that people are envious of, but it is important for us to just make sure that we are grateful for where we are at.
I agree.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Do you have anything else, Josh, you want to talk about?
That's all I got.
I'm really thankful that we had this talk.
I'm thankful that the camera worked.
I'm very grateful. We're at 31 minutes and 42 seconds, and it has not overheated. It usually overheats right around 20 minutes. So thank you,
camera.
DJI.
Yeah.
So I want to wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving. Make sure that you guys eat as much as you are able to. Make sure that it's good for you. Well, not good for you, but make sure that you do what's good for your body, I guess. You know, sometimes a cheat day is not going to hurt. Right? So anyways, I'm thankful for you guys who are watching us and who are have subscribed to us and are supporting us through this project. I really think that I believe that we are offering pretty good stuff for you guys to listen to and think about, and just in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah.
There's millions of podcasts. There's millions and hundreds of millions of songs that you could be listening to instead. So the fact that you guys took a half an hour out of your day to listen to us, I really am thankful for that. If you do like what we've done here, please subscribe and share it with other people, and rate us. Just do the thing that everyone else always says on the podcast. If you could do that, that'd be great. We really appreciate that. But if you'd like to stay connected and dive deeper into finding peace, focus, and fulfillment, also not only subscribe to the podcast, but be sure to sign up to Josh's nonStatic newsletter at nonstatic.org. We're going to have that information on the details of the podcast. And also, finally, remember, if you or someone you know is struggling with their mental health, we're here to help. If you're not local to us, start by calling the suicide hotline at 988, and there you'll be immediately contacted with someone who can help you through your struggles. But otherwise, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk with you and help you through, or get you set up with one of our therapists, or refer you to somebody who is able to help you in your area. Reach out to us anytime at Inspire Services. But anyways, take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Enjoy the journey.
All right.
Did it work?
It worked.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
Sure.
Now I gotta get on the horn with